French seam. So a French seam would ordinarily be used for a transparent type of fabric like a chiffon or an organza. So I'm just going to show you on a little piece of tulle that I have here. Normally when you go to sew up a seam, you always make sure to have your fabric facing right sides together. But because of the French seam, you basically seam it twice. You actually start off with your wrong sides together. Now, it's also, obviously with some fabrics like this, it's kind of hard to see which is the right side or the wrong side. And let's be honest, with tulle, there kind of isn't any difference. But it's really just to know the concept that with a French seam, the first time you do your seam allowance is wrong sides together. You have a 1.5 seam allowance seam allowed on your pattern piece. So for the first line of sewing, you need to take off half of that. So we're going to sew off 0.75. Okay, so you put your two pieces of fabric down, wrong sides together, and sew off 0.75. Open that out, okay, and you're now going to reverse that around so that you're going to encase that 0.75 seam allowance. So you're now twisting the fabric around so that it's right sides together, and that seam allowance, okay, just to show you, that's it flapping around there. All right, you can see, and I'm basically encasing that in on itself. And I'm now going to sew off my other 0.75. So in total, I'll have used up my full 1.5 seam allowance. To be really fussy, it's actually no harm to press that flat first and then turn it round and press it before you actually sew your second half of the seam. That the seam allowance is enclosed in itself, so it looks really clean and tidy, even though you can see the seam allowance through the net or the organza or the chiffon, whatever it would be. It's actually lovely and clean and tidy. Now obviously the smaller you can have that, the better, but just knowing that your pattern has the full 1.5, we had to make sure to take off that 1.5 seam allowance. So that is how you do a French seam.